Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode on the Glory Reds podcast. It's your boy, Don Benito. And boy, oh boy, Bruno Fernandes has dropped a BOMBA. Hey. I don't know if anybody's ready for this. I don't know if I'm ready for this. But one thing I can say for sure is that my skipper has every right to do what he has done. He's the only player that I am giving a pass. I am giving him a pass for all of this. Normally, I don't do this. I'm not a player power kind of guy, but Bruno Fernandes deserves the respect. He deserves his flowers. And this latest interview, we're going to get into that. And to put the cherry on top, no pun intended, Manchester United are in for Antoine Semenyo. Remember, I have been hinting at Semenyo throughout this entire Glory Reds. I have been talking about it since that first interview that he had with Ruben Amorim. We thought it was a weird one, but it's crazy that this Antoine Semenyo story is coming out just after this Bruno BOMBA also dropped. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it. So, reports have come out that Bruno Fernandes has done an interview. We are still waiting to see the actual live video of him doing this interview. But he had some very scathing and damning things to say. And honestly, it has revealed a lot to me personally in terms of the leadership, this Ineos squad or this Ineos nonsense that we've got going on Manchester United. We spoke about this so many times. When Al Hilal arrived saying, look, we want to break the British transfer record for Bruno Fernandes. Can you give us this player? And Manchester United were busy dilly-dallying, and there was this period, it even came right before the Europa final. It was a disaster. Bruno had to think about, you guys remember the story. You remember how that played out. Well, according to our skipper, according to our Magnifico, it wasn't all rainbows and sunshines. It's not always been like that. And here are going to be some of the quotes that he said from his interview. He said, "The club wanted me to go in the summer. I have that in my head. I told the directors this, but I think they didn't have the courage to make a decision. I decided to stay, also because of family reasons, but because I also genuinely like the club." I wanted to put love there because I think he loves the club. But he said the conversations with the manager also made me stay. So Ruben Amorim played a huge role in Bruno Fernandes staying at the club, which I'll give him a salute to, because it looks like Bruno would have gone. And where the hell would we be without Bruno Fernandes? Oh my days. But from the club side, I felt a bit like if you leave, it's not bad for us. Meaning the club felt like if Bruno left, they would still gain. It's not really a loss for them. But there was no, it wasn't like the club were genuinely trying to lock Bruno in, saying no, this is our player. He's not going anywhere. We're going to keep him. And we spoke about this. Do you remember? Bruno goes on to further say, "It hurts me a lot. More than hurting, it makes me sad, because I'm a player that they have nothing to criticize about. I'm always available, always play, good or bad. I give my all. Then you see things around you, players who don't value the club as much and don't defend the club as much. That makes me sad." Bruno, I don't know where these comments are coming from, and I don't know who he's targeting when he says players that don't defend the club as much, because then there has to be a true Hollywood story there, right? He says, "I could have left like many people and do." He said, "I could have left like many people do and said, I want to leave. I don't want to train. I just want to leave for 20 or 30 M's, 30 million euros. So they pay me more on the other side. Meaning, like, just like any other player that has held a club hostage in terms of wanting to leave, or let's say, for example, Isak is the best example that I can give, because he didn't want to leave. Liverpool wanted him. They expressed interest, and Isak was like, look, I want to leave. I want to take my next step. So then he boycotted, stopped training, started coming up. He said, I could have done that. And they could have sold, because Bruno is 30 years old. Like, he's 30 and above. He's above 30 years old. You don't get 120 or over 100 million for a player that is 30 years old. It has never happened. Bruno is the exception to the rule. Al Hilal were about to break the British transfer record for this player. Can you make that make sense? Can you deep that? And he says, I could have gone for 20 or 30 million so that they could pay me more on the other side, meaning that he could have chased the financial glory. He could have chased all the money in the world just to secure the bag. But I never did that. I never felt in a position to do that, because I felt the empathy and the affection I had for the club were the same. So he thought that the club, the way he loves the club, the way he's giving everything to the club was supposed to reciprocate those feelings. But it turns out they didn't. Bruno was just another pawn. It was just like, okay, hey, we respect you, Bruno. You know, you have done so much since coming to the club. The decision is yours. But he wanted the club to fight for him. He wanted the club to push for him to stay. But he never felt that. And then, now, we are getting all of this story, and it's like, whoa, what's going on? What's going on with Bruno Fernandes? Why is he coming out and saying all of this stuff? I'm sure the draw has got something to do with it. I'm sure someone or an ex-player or somebody has said something that has aggravated this sort of passion that is coming out of Bruno Fernandes. But Bruno Fernandes is right. And I never thought that I will ever do this, because I don't back players when they go against the club. Because the club is bigger than players. You know, there is no player that is bigger than Manchester United. That is a fact. That is a fact. But in these circumstances, when you talk about a player that has been giving his all, who has been in arguably one of the worst Manchester United sides ever, and still managed to shine bright like a diamond and put in 100% for the club at all times, I think Bruno Fernandes is one of those players that deserves that kind of respect, which is why we're coming out here talking about it. Because I can guarantee you that this story is going to cause a lot of chaos in the dressing room, the media. It's going to be a circus. And there's going to be a lot of... The fan base is going to be split. That's a fact. Some are going to be like, nah, he should leave. He's not a midfielder. He's a number 10. So as long as he's not playing in that number 10 position, get rid of Bruno. Blah, blah, blah. I know that. That's what other people are going to say. But me, I'm saying Bruno, guys, like I always told you, Bruno Fernandes is a very special midfielder. He's like Frank Lampard. I don't know why people do not understand this. Frank Lampard was an 8 that scored so many goals, provided so many assists. In fact, Frank is in the top 5 top goal scorers of Chelsea in a number 8 position. So I don't understand why people are forcing this situation, saying Bruno Fernandes is a number 10. Bruno Fernandes is a midfielder that has special qualities of scoring goals. He's just blessed with an IQ that is above average, and he can, he has got one of the highest IQs in football. You see it the way he plays his football. You can tell that this guy is brilliant in the mind. And he's one player that is always available. So this story of Bruno Fernandes coming out like this is really it's giving me mixed emotions. Mixed emotions in the sense that I don't know what the future holds. I don't know what actions the club are going to take against Bruno. I don't know if he's going to be suspended, because these kind of remarks are the kind of remarks that get you X'd from the club. You know, it's like a sala bomba. You know what I'm saying? You say something that doesn't really register, and then boom, 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 everything just falls apart. And this is the story that we're in right now. Now, with all of this being said, with all of this, it is crazy to hear that Manchester United are in for Antoine Semenyo, because these stories have come out simultaneously. Bruno's story coming out, boom, and then right after that, Semenyo hint coming out, boom, 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 boom. Manchester United are firmly in the race to sign Antoine Semenyo, the guy that scored the equalizer yesterday, the guy that I told you, Ruben Amorim, on his first month or first whatever, since he arrived at Manchester United, he had dinner with this guy. He had a sit down with this guy. Every time Ruben Amorim speaks about Antoine Semenyo, he's always speaking in a very glowing manner. Praise. He loves the player. He says he's a special player. And you know, when Ruben speaks of you like that, you know what that means. The club believe the chance to land him next month for 65 million. The club believe that there is a chance for them to sign the player next month, meaning the January transfer window, for 65 million pounds. Can you imagine that? And you know what's also crazy about this story? We want to sign Antoine Semenyo. He's definitely going to be the replacement for Bruno, if you think about it in a broader sense. Because we're trying to figure out whether he was going to be a wing back or something like that. I don't think so. He is a winger. He's an attacking player. So the fact that Manchester United are actually trying to pull out all the stops to sign him in January. And when did we sign Bruno Fernandes from Sporting Lisbon? I'll wait. Yes, you got that right. We signed Bruno in the January transfer window. What is going on? What is going on? We had one of the most epic games yesterday. Why are we being dished out this scandalous story? Like, why are we getting these bombas like this? Because this story is going to really, really work on the fans. This story is going to split the fan base. There is going to be chaos that follows this. I am telling you right now. Fans that think that Bruno should leave, that should have left. And fans that think that, he deserves to be at the club. Now, we spoke about this. At the time when Al Hilal wanted Bruno, we said, look, before the season starts, if you're going to make a decision, make that decision now. Ineos failed to make that decision. And now look at the chaos that has unfolded. Because if Ineos had the balls to decide and say, look, Bruno, we love you. Thank you for being a faithful member of Manchester United. You will forever be remembered for the contributions to the club. Give him a plaque or something. Do something, because Bruno, I'm sorry, in the time that he's been here, since he has arrived, he has been the shining light. He has been the beacon. He has been the reason why some of us still support Manchester United. Because, oh my days, without Bruno, where would we be? Where would we be? Bruno Fernandes is... I can't even give an example of a player. Is what Rodri is to Manchester City. You know? Like, if Rodri is not there, they don't tick. But obviously they've worked through that because they've had time to do that. But you know, when Rodri doesn't play for Man City drop a level. Bruno Fernandes is that guy to us. He's a very, very special player for us. And the fact that he has come out publicly and said this should be concerning. It should. Because we don't know what the fate is going to be. We don't know the amount of chaos that's going to cause in the dressing room. We don't know how some of those players who look up to Bruno are going to take the story, take this information. How are they going to deal with it? Now, just to add another little cherry on top, there is one club that is in for Antoine Semenyo, and they are our noisy neighbors. According to the report, Man City are currently the leading contenders to sign Antoine Semenyo. Now, I don't know if Manchester United are playing games. I mean, Ineos. Let me say Ineos. I don't know if they're playing games. I don't know what kind of nonsense they're trying to pull here. But if they don't sign Antoine Semenyo, it's going to look really, really bad. It really is. Because Man City have got the money. They don't play. Even Chelsea. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Chelsea just decide they want to buy Antoine Semenyo. They can. And they could. Because they don't waste time. We want to start thinking about, PSR. We want to stay in between the PSR. No. Yo, you want a player that you think is going to change the game for us? Sign the player. But what does this mean for the club? I leave it to you guys. Do you guys think Bruno was alright to come out like this and say these things? Or do you think Bruno is completely out of line? Like he should fall back? Just like every other player, just like Salah, just like every other player that has tried to criticize the team. Do you think Bruno Fernandes should never have said anything? Or do you think he's well within his right to come out and give us a glimpse into what we never really had a clue about? This, for me, has exposed Ineos in a very damning way. It just shows the incompetence of that organization. They claim that they've got they've got this data, they've got this what, but there's nothing going on there. If they're not able to sort a situation like this out, and to make matters worse, if they don't sign Antoine Semenyo, like, what are we doing? Thank you, everybody, for listening to the Glory Reds podcast. It's your boy, Don Benito. Peace.